It's a glorious day here at Cabinet Joint. I'm Justin, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to install door stops for inset cabinets, both in single door and double door applications. Let's get right into it. These are all of the tools that you are going to need. First, you're going to need a drill with a 7/64 bit. You're going to need an impact with a Phillips head bit. We're going to show two ways of installing the door stops, one of which is going to be using our new Cabinet Joint Inset jig. You're going to need your door stops and the screws that go with them, a pencil, you're going to need your regular Phillips bit screwdriver, a measuring tape, and then lastly, two sets of pliers you're going to use to bend the stops in a very specific situation, which I'll show you later in the video. So now we're going to be putting the door stoppers on. I'm using our Inset scribe jig, and it is so easy to use. Now you want to line up this edge of the jig with the inner edge of the stile. You also want to line up the bottom of the jig here with the back of the face frame. So once you do those things, mark there with your pencil, and now you have where you're gonna need to drill in order to install your door stopper. And you can go ahead and do the same thing, just flip your jig over. Once again, butting into the back of the face frame and then aligning the edge of the jig with the inside edge of the stile. Go ahead and mark it like that. Now you have exactly where you need to put your screw. Now, if you didn't have this jig, the measurements for that is 5/16 into the cabinet from the back of the face frame and then 9/16 over from the inside edge of the stile. Now that you have your marks, you can go ahead and drill. This is using a 7/64 bit. You can use a bit that's just a little bit smaller than 8. It doesn't need to be 7/64. It doesn't matter too much if you drill through the top because no one's ever going to see it, but you want to be mindful of that you're not just drilling willy-nilly through and making holes that are unnecessary. Once you have your holes drilled, you can go ahead and put a screw through the elongated hole that is in your stopper. Because it's elongated, it has some adjustability that you can loosen the screw and adjust the door back or more forward if you need to. So now that we have the stoppers in place, we can go ahead and install our door once again. And now when we close it, you can go ahead and see that the stoppers do what they're supposed to do and it stops the door. So the goal with an inset door is for it to be in the same plane as the face frame. So now if you look over here, you can place a level on your door, and truthfully, you don't always need to place a level as you're doing this. Just get it to your eye's contentness. It doesn't need to be this exact. But if I place the level here, I can notice that it is dead on right now. It is flat all the way. It's in the same plane. So I know I don't need to adjust that door stop at all. It is in the perfect spot. So now we are going to install the door stop here in the bottom cavity, but you're going to run into an issue where you don't have a flat surface on the upper part here to install a door stop. You're going to run into situations like this with two-tiered cabinets like this. You're going to run into it with sink cabinets. And I'm going to show you a workaround so you can still have a door stop there without being able to attach it to a flat surface that's directly in line with your stile. So when you don't have a flush top to mount your door stop to, the workaround is you are going to take your door stop and take 2 pairs of pliers and bend it so that way it ends up being straight. And then from there, you can go ahead and install it to the back of your rail. And to install it to the back of your rail, it's going to be the same measurements except just shifted. So it's going to be 5/16 down from the top of your shelf and then 9/16 over from the edge of your stile. Or instead of taking those measurements, you can just go ahead and use our jig. You butt it up to the bottom of the shelf, and then you also line up the side here with the inside edge of the stile. And then that will give you the same exact spot to mark and drill a hole and then to install your doorstop using the singular hole that is in the back of that doorstop. If your cabinet does not have a shelf to butt up into, you can line it up the bottom of this rail with the 2 holes here on the jig, these 2 larger holes. So you butt it up, you see it cuts through the middle of those 2 holes. And that's how you know you lined it up correctly. And then you can go ahead, make your mark here on either corner, depending on what side you're in, and then drill that out and then install your door stop. From there, now you can see that we can go ahead and install this door. Doorstops do their job well, and that top one there is making good contact with the top of the door. So in a situation where you have double doors, you aren't able to measure or slide your jig right into the edge of the stile. So what you're gonna wanna do is you have to find the center of the cabinet opening. So you can do that in a couple ways. One, you can just go ahead and close this door and then line up your edge of your carrot here on the jig with that door. It has 2 holes here. You just make a mark on those 2 holes, drill that out, and then install your door stop there. If you're not using our jig, what you're gonna wanna do is measure to the center of your opening and then measure a 1/2 inch either direction, and then once again, 5/16 back from the back of the face frame. And that is all there is to it, to installing door stops, both in your single door and double door applications, both using our cabinet joint inset scribe jig or just using a measuring tape. So if you have any more questions, feel free to contact your cabinet coach or call us at 888-211-6482. Thank you guys for watching.